Night Vision. Following clues left by our ancestors, we unbury the past to reveal a knowledge of unfathomable value, putting us just a little closer to our own true birthrights. From the secret history of a possible bloodline of Jesus Christ, the secret history of America's founders, to the secret history of extraterrestrial interaction on our planet, here to bring light to the night. Your host for Night Vision Radio, Renee Barnett.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Night Vision once again. So happy that you're spending your Friday night or Saturday morning or whatever it may be, wherever you are with us this evening, because we got a fun show and an exciting and really interesting show tonight. Before I introduce my guests, I just like to make a couple of quick announcements and say that we are having, a membership drive at KGRA, and I would love to have you join us. And I'm going to put up, I should have had this ready, become a member of KGRA at live.kgradb.com and use the code VISION for a monthly subscription or VISION 22 for an annual subscription. I would really appreciate it, and I think you'd really enjoy it. We've really been making a lot of changes to the platform, and so there are things that are available to members only, and that even more, because that's what we're working on right now is really ramping up the platform. There's already a lot of new things there. And we also have a monthly newsletter, which comes out the first Thursday of each month. So we just published yesterday, the last issue. And you don't have to become a member to get the newsletter. You can just go to kgradb.com and sign up for our mailing list, and that will get you the newsletter every month, and then get you a little bit more familiar with us. And there's some fun articles in there, interesting stuff, news stuff from the past, from the archives, and also personal stories and things like that. So got a really good issue out this month, and I'm already working on the next one. Also want to say hello, and we miss you very much, to James Martin, who's our official historian, as you know. He's recovering nicely from COVID. Oh, anyway, at least that's his story. No, it's really true. He's been working from home all week, and it's really a drag because he just started a new position. So he's raring to go, and then he just had to spend a couple weeks at home. But at least he's doing better, and I think he's back in the office as of Monday, and hopefully he'll be back with us next week. But anyhow, also one more thing I wanted to mention. You guys remember John Yost, who did the film Alien Abduction Answers. And as you know, I've been announcing on the show that there's a GoFundMe drive for John, who is undergoing pancreatic cancer treatment. If you know anything about cancer, you know that pancreatic cancer is the biggie. And I just lost my closest and dearest friend just this last year from pancreatic cancer. So it's very close to my heart. John's a wonderful guy. The movie is written and directed by him. He's also appears in it because it's actually his story of his experiences as a child and up into adulthood. So if you get a chance, pop over to GoFundMe.com and just look up John Yost, Y-O-S-T. And if you have $1 or whatever, send it. If not, send him a little word of encouragement, prayer, whatever it is that you do, and lift his spirits and all that. And John, if you're listening, we're right behind you. So we're waiting for you to get back so I can have you back on the show again. And we want to see what you're going to be doing next, because I know that movie is gorgeous. I think it's on Amazon or Netflix, but it's called Alien Abduction Answers, and it is a beautifully done film. It's beautifully shot, just very professional, very well done. So I would recommend it to anyone. And without further delay, I would like to bring on my guest tonight. She is a psychic medium from the UK. And I have to thank James Martin because she comes to us through his friends. And so I'm happy to meet my new friend, Bex, Rebecca Sawyer. Hi, Bex.
Hi, honey. How you doing, Renee?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, how are you? Is it storming over there?
We have had we've had the storm, we had the floods, and we had the heavy rain the last couple of days. But today was nice. But we've got storms coming tomorrow. The weather here is crazy. The world's gone crazy, but the weather here is just madness. We had a crazy summer, cold. Then we had a really hot September. Oh, it's just mad. The weather is madness here. The Brits love talking about the weather, but we have so much to talk about on the weather in this country. It's just crazy.
It is. I was just before we came on air, I was, kind of scrolling through the news, and I saw these floods in Italy. It just looked terrible. And I wasn't even aware of that. And I guess, we've been having a lot of big, heavy rains and storms through the middle of the country going eastward. It didn't get us out here in California. It's been like summer, and it's been crazy. But I know James said, aside from the fact that, he's still recuperating and really needs his extra rest, he said, I have no idea what this next storm is going to be like, or, whether it's going to interrupt my service or anything. So that was my first clue today that you guys were having the storms in the UK too, because I wasn't aware.
Yeah, some crazy ones.
I'm trying to place your accent. South, middle, northern.
Southern, London.
Southern.
London.
I wanted to say Southern because I have a good dear friend, Max. In fact, James's husband, Max, is from the South, and that's where James is located now. He's down near Bristol.
It's what I call Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins territory, East End of London.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, is that considered the East End?
Well, yeah, that's where I'm originally from, but I wouldn't call Dick Van Dyke's. He was Cockney-ish. He was Hollywood Cockney.
Yeah. I love Cockney rhyming slang. I know a little bit, but not very much.
But that goes way back.
I think it's very entertaining. But now you, I know you have a really unique story. I mean, I guess everybody does really have their own unique story. But you said as a child, you had always kind of had this urge to communicate with the other side. And, as a child, and you happened to be a little boy at that time, and you were really into speaking, aside from wanting to be a mermaid, you were also into speaking with the other side, or really wanting to, and you really were fascinated with mediums and that kind of ability. So can you tell me a little bit about that, about what that was like?
Growing up as a little boy, I only found out years later that when I was about two and a half, I had this imaginary friend just called Girl, and she was with me constantly till I was about 5, everywhere. So I don't remember her, but I guess she was my first little spirit friend. And as you said, I can remember just wanting to chat to spirit people, just wanted to do, didn't understand it, just wanted to talk to dead people. But, whereas a lot of mediums have gone, oh, yes, I saw spirit from a very early age. I didn't. I spent most of my world in my imaginary world, just as you said, I just want to be a mermaid, which was great when I was 7, really not so good when I was 28. It didn't quite fit in.
I can kind of understand the mermaid bit, but I think at that age, I don't even think I was aware of dead people. I remember the biggest thing that I used to do is I used to go to bed at night and pray every night that my toys would come alive. And of course, now if that happened, I would, run out like my hair was on fire, run out screaming. It would scare the crap out of me. But at that time, I would just pray so hard, just make my doll stand up and walk, you know.
Yeah,
And
that
but as
I
far
think
as being aware of the other side, I don't think I had any concept of that at that early age.
I think what it was with me as well is my imagination was so active because I spent all my time just trying to pretend I was a girl or it wasn't me, or even as I got older. So, even growing up, that I spent a lot of time not in an alternate world, but certainly just wishing I wasn't where I was. And I
Right,
think that part of the brain that I could quiet down that conscious mind and move to something else has helped with my mediumship. Because
right.
when it comes to mediumship, the role of the medium is to quiet down that conscious mind so you can get out of the way so spirit can do their job. And I think that has really helped because I find it really easy to quiet down that conscious mind because I spent so much time in an imaginary world or imagination or
Yeah,
fantasizing or wishing, whatever you want to call it.
right, right. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I've got a younger brother and younger sister. And
Are they psychic at all?
no, my brother is a complete. He's not a non-believer, but he's very, very. If you can see it, if you can hit it,
Yeah,
it's real. But
yeah.
he's come to some of the shows and he goes, "I can't answer some of this." I went, "Well, there you go."
There
So
you
he
go.
doesn't. He hasn't said to me, "Oh, Bex, I believe," or "Bex, I know," because I always say to everyone's on their journey of exploration, aren't they?
Yes,
Everyone's got to find their path. Everyone's got to find their own personal truth.
yeah. I would imagine it probably doesn't really matter to you that much whether people believe you or not,
No, no,
because what really matters is you know what you're doing and you know
yeah,
what you're hearing or getting. Oh, and I was reading too, you said you're not clairsentient. You don't, or you are clairsentient.
I am. Yeah,
You're not clairvoyant.
not clairvoyant. Nope.
Right. So clairvoyant is seeing,
Yeah, yep.
and
I see
clairsentient
nothing.
is feeling and experiencing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Clairvoyance is that clear seeing. So I don't see spirit. I'm, from my understanding is it's from friends who are clairvoyant. They say it's a bit like you remember the old days when you used to take photographs and get a negative film. They
Yeah.
seem like negative. Although I've got one or two of my friends sees them, they seem like as clear as day. But I don't. As you said, I work clairsentiently and clairknowingly, and that is literally I sense them, I feel them. I can share, I can narrate their story. I can bring
Yeah.
them. I can bring them in that. So I have a strange language. I'm a bit of a maverick when it comes to my mediumship. I call these reunions, not connections, not
I
links.
love that.
They're reunions, and I always say to people, they're never magic, but they can be magical.
Right.
And the
Right.
spirit knows the reunion they want, and within that reunion, there's always healing and some form of therapy or therapeutic value. And the job of the medium is to get out of the way so that spirit person can do their job. I mean, the spirit
Right.
person knows their job, what they want, what's needed from that reunion, and the job of the medium is to get out of the way so the medium can facilitate that reunion.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said that, that went on. Sorry for my dog poking his nose up here. I couldn't get him to go in the other
Oh,
room. He's
bless them.
quite large. Uh, but the you said that you used to get these feelings, and then when you transitioned physically,
Yeah,
uh, it really sort of opened up.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Um, That was a lot. That I think that could be for a lot of reasons, because then you were really you. So you had the confidence and because you felt like you were centered then, maybe.
yeah,
I
I
think.
think I think with me it was a long, long journey because it wasn't just the transition, the trans transition, if you like. Because I never went through what I would call a transition because I've had some like 22 hours of facial surgery. My first facial surgery was like 12 hours of bone work because I never thought I would transition because I was this big bloke with this very masculine face. And I was just trying to be the best person I could be, the best dad, if you like, I could be, and fit in the best way I could. Because I always had a conflict because I always thought, well, I always knew I was spiritual. I sat in what's called circle in my 20s and 30s, really got involved in tarot and psychic work. But when it came to the mediumship, I didn't really get much as I really wanted to do it. And I had this whole conflict of going, well, I'm this spiritual being in a body. The body shouldn't really matter, but it did. It really, really did. And
After
so I
all,
went
it
through
did.
this slow transition, and it wasn't a slow. And also the adjustment. I've also gone down the journey of sacred plant medicines. So I've done ayahuasca. I've done this thing called buffo. So that's been very cathartic. And it's for me, mediumship. And I explain when I teach mediumship, I always say mediumship is easy. It's a natural phenomenon. What makes it difficult is the person in the way, and the person in the way has got all our programs, all our concerns, all our worries, all our anxieties, all our hang-ups, and you've got to work through those as much as the technique of mediumship.
Right. I think I saw on your website, you said everyone is a medium.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely. Because we're all
that's so
spirit.
cool.
I think what it is, a lot of mediums go, oh, it's a very special gift. No, it's not. I work really hard. I'm not one of these born, so I've worked really hard, and I devote my life to this. This is my world. And when I start working, like when I'm demming or doing a show, that's when I really come alive. But that doesn't mean someone can't sit in the quiet and feel their mum and get close to their mum, because it's the most natural thing in the world. Mediumship, I always say when I work, nothing I do or any medium does can take away the physical pain of missing your loved ones. You miss the phone calls, the hugs, but when you know this is real, or you find your own truth, it just changes how you grieve. And that's the role of the medium.
Yeah. I was talking, I was actually guest on another show yesterday, and there were 4 of us there, and actually there were 5 of us there. And one of the people, in fact, it was our guest, had just lost his mother. And so what we decided to do was just do a very shortened version of the show. It's kind of a social, political type show, and just, wish everyone that is, suffering, and, whether it be because the loss of a loved one, or because of, they're in the way of the wars, that, we were just wishing everyone peace. And so each of us had like a little message. It was very short and show. But afterwards, we all sat and talked, because our friend, kind of needed the support. And we were saying, it's funny, because from what we know, whether it's from a religious belief that, they're in heaven now, or whether it's through, our own sense, our own faith, or through someone else letting us know where our loved one is, it if all that is true, then our loved one is fine, and our loved one is in a good place. And grief is not about them, it's about us.
Absolutely.
It's
And
about, we miss them, and we miss the daily interaction and being able to pick up the phone, like you said.
and that's why I always say the spirit people have the easiest job,
Yes.
because I'm always careful how I say this. I always say they don't need to miss us the way we miss them, because they know we're going to be together.
That's
They
right.
have more of us in spirit than we could ever imagine. They know we're going to be okay, because they're not restricted by this physical body, by this car.
Yeah.
And so they haven't got that conscious brain in the way, trying to make sense of it, trying to
Right.
understand that we're still, because the brain's in the physical reality and going, oh my God, that person has died. Well, no, they haven't. They've simply gone. I use this analogy a lot about a car. And it's like, for me, this lifetime's a gift. I know we all abuse it at times. I certainly abuse mine sometimes, but it's a gift of this life experience. But when we cross over, it's like just getting out of the car. So our loved ones, when they get in their car, I just say they can get in your car and visit you anytime they wish. The secret is to turn your radio down, turn your engine of the car off, sit in the quiet, and you can feel them in your passenger seat next to you.
Yeah.
And so all the medium does is say, right, well, you can't quieten your car down enough. So here I am. I do it for you. And that's what the medium, the one in the middle. The analogy I use a lot is, I say to people, I'm a mobile phone. I'm simply a mobile phone that just brings two people together.
It's funny that you said, they don't miss us like we miss them.
Oh,
I remember the first time I heard that from. I have a friend who's a medium who's been on this show and others on the station, named Heather Besser from the United States, and was talking to her one day, and she goes, I said, they don't miss us, and she goes, they don't miss us.
oh,
And I was like, it kind of hurt my feelings at first. And then I
yeah,
thought, well, wait a minute. I'm sad because they're not sad. That's
there you go.
really all messed up.
Yeah.
I should be happy they don't miss us because that means they're happy. And
And
that's
if you
what
want
we
to,
want.
and if you want to go down a rabbit hole, and there's no time, there's no concept of time or space on the other side because there's no planets going around stars and around the sun, you could say we're already back together.
Oh, wow. But we just don't know it.
Because who said spirit can't be in more than one place and more than one place or one more time or a place in time anytime they wish?
Right. Right. I mean,
Because
otherwise, how else could they communicate if they couldn't sort of
yeah,
come to
we
us?
we lose sight that spirit are the ultimate intelligence,
Yeah.
and we tend to base what we think spirit's going to be like based on this physical experience, and the only thing you can really base this physical experience on is this car, is this body we're in, and the consciousness, our spirit that's within it, experience in this lifetime.
Wow.
It's I always make a joke. I think I said to you earlier about the joke about the car. My analogy with like when you get given this car is me. When I was born, I was about 4 or 5 years old and started to realize my car wasn't quite right. My steering wheel was on the wrong side. My gearbox only worked in reverse. The bodywork became all a bit wrong. So over the years, what's happened is they've put the steering wheel on the other side. They sort of rebuilt a gearbox for me, changed the bodywork a bit. So I'm a conversion job. So the body is this conversion job, but I'm still the same person inside. So when I cross over, when my time comes to return to spirit, I take the memory of almost, if you like, 2 lifetimes in one lifetime.
Right.
Because when we cross over, we take the memory of the experience of who we are. I had this recently. Someone asked me, they got told this woman that came to me and never shown. She said, "Can I ask you a question?" She said, I said, ask whatever you want. So, well, she was recently told by some medium that her dad was coming through, but he was still foggy with his Alzheimer's and dementia. And I said, well, that's rubbish. He won't have that. He'll take the memory. He'll come back and say, do you remember I had the dementia? Do you remember you sat with me? Do you remember when you did this when I thought you didn't know? But it's like anything, we take the memories. If someone had a brain injury, they take the memory.
Right.
Anything
Right.
associated with
Like
the
people
car,
in
with
a
the body.
coma will know everything that's going on around them. And, it's probably the same with her dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing to think that, your parent is still, or any loved one is still suffering the same disability that they had
Oh,
in this life. That's doesn't sound quite right.
some of the things I get told that other psychic mediums have told people, I get very frustrated. I mean, the classic one is that, again, someone came up to me, this is a few months ago now, I can't remember, she said, Bex, I saw this medium. She said to me, my mum can't come through for 6 months because she's got to settle down. Well, my first thought is, what? Is she unpacking? It's ridiculous. They can come through the same day they've passed because no one's told them they can't.
It's funny because I have heard a lot of times that, I had my daughter passed away some years back, and I would say, "Gosh, why doesn't she come to me? I can't, see her. Oh God!" And people would say, "Oh, it's too soon.
Oh,
They can't come through. It's too quick. It has to be at least 3 days after they're gone." And so you're saying that really doesn't make any sense.
No, you froze it there. You said about 3 days. No, I've had someone come through an hour and a quarter after they passed.
And you know what else? You hear other stories about people that were saying, I was asleep, I woke up and my grandfather was there, and then the phone rang and somebody said my grandfather had passed away. So they could come in
straight away.
simultaneously with death, I think.
Well, the one I remember that was instant. Before, if I'm doing a show, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but I do what I call a meet and greet. I sit on my bed. I've got a lovely blanket. I call it my spirit blanket. I link with spirit, and I will often, depending on how spirit want to work it, but often it'll be they will show me who's my first link is. My first link is going to be with my first reunion. They'll show me where the person is sitting in the audience and what they're going to look like and what they might be wearing. And the name as well sometimes. Well, if they can do that, then they can pretty much do anything. But one time I was doing my meet and greet, I had this person just come with me and say, literally went, I've just got here, Joan. I went, okay, you've just got there, it's all about Joan. That's all they gave me. And that was 4 o'clock 3:30 in the afternoon. So I had about a 2-hour drive to that show. So I started the night, and it's quite a busy night, quite a lot of people. And I started saying, look, I've got this person. I think it's the man, but I wasn't sure. They didn't show me. It's all about Joan, and they've literally just got there this afternoon. They've just arrived. And someone put their hand up. Yeah, I've been to a funeral today. I went, no, it's not that. And so I said, no, then so I said, oh yeah, someone died 2 days ago. No, it's this afternoon about 3:30, 4 o'clock, all about Joan. No one took it. And it was a very, 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 very busy function of a venue. So at the interval, a woman's come up to me and said, Bex, I'm so sorry. So I'm the manager of the whole place. And it was quite a big place. I said, okay. She said, well, just to let you know, the owner of the whole place died about 3:30 this afternoon. His wife is Joan.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, well, can you just let Joan know? See, again, we talk about the intents of spirit. So think what that man did beautifully. So not only had he just passed, so he reunited, but all he cared about was his wife.
Oh.
All he wanted to say was, I'm okay, Joan. And that's all Joan needed. So Joan got in that moment, she'll get that message. There was no like, oh, I've arrived on fire. It was just about getting to his wife. And it turned out they'd been married forever. Their soulmates. And that again is in terms of spirit. So in that one, and again, that also ties in. Whenever I teach, I always say I have to have ultimate trust in spirit, because then they know what they want to say, how they want to say it. And no one, and there was about 200 people in that audience, not one person could say. There were people saying, yep, I've been to a funeral today, and this. I went, no, 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then literally that lady, the manageress of the whole place, could pass the message on.
Wow.
Come through straight away. The flip side is what I get asked all the time is, why do they never come through? And I go, I don't know. Whenever I work, I say I want everyone to enjoy the evening. I want everyone to be part of. I try and do what I call create a sacred space when we work together. But I always say, is that I want everyone to enjoy themselves, but I'm not working for anyone in the audience. I'm serving, representing spirit. So if I don't know the agenda, I just trust the agenda. I just trust the scheduling, if you like.
Right.
But I had my little record. I was doing a show in South. I stopped doing accents in South London, and there was a woman and her mum and dad, and I worked with them. The mum got her mum and dad came through. They were like soulmates. This mother and father. They were just like joined. It was beautiful. And then the dad, who was about, I think he was 74, 75, his brother-in-law tried to reunite, but there was a bit of hardball going on, but we got there and it was beautiful. I thought we'd finished. I thought I was moving on. And I said, I've got a man here commit suicide. And I said, it's ultra tragic. And I looked at this older man. I went, I'm with you again. And I thought, this is his dad. And before I could say it to him, he went, yeah, my dad committed suicide when I was 6.
Oh, wow.
It was waiting nearly 70 years to hear from his dad and the healing that was needed. Well, he's been to see loads of things, but his dad's never reunited. I'm nothing special, but why that man waited 70 years, I don't know. But the healing that man received in that night was off the flipping chart. Yeah.
Oh my! Again, I wonder if he just hadn't had the right entree, the right portal to go through, and he took the opportunity when he got it.
Yeah, I would say I don't know their agenda. I just work with them, serve them, work with them. Yeah.
And I know you said you do. You're talking about the group things that you do, and I'm assuming you also sometimes speak to people one-on-one.
I don't actually do one. So I'm very blessed. I'm doing a show or something like a show 5 nights a week.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, well, I dem 5 nights a week. That could be a show, a church, a charity night, a spirit center, or family and friends group nights.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I don't get the chance to do one-to-one sittings. I like doing, but because I'm one of those mediums, some mediums can just do that and they're in the zone. I can't. My preparation, I have a preparation to get into the right. I call it, it's a slightly altered state of consciousness. So I have to get in that place
Right.
where my mind, body, and emotions have all gone quiet. So they're relaxed, they're out of the way. And then I've got build up what's called the power. So I then get in the power. So, and then I link with spirit after sitting in that sacred space. So for me, there's a like a sacred process to it. So it's the same thing doing a one-to-one sitting as it is for a show or a dem or a church. So I what I've learned is if I don't get 1 or 2 nights a week off, I just crash because I think emotionally this work can be very emotionally draining.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was asking that is I just wondered because you said, how you create the sacred space and you include everyone in it. I wondered if the people that were there in this process, does that sort of create more energy? Because, and you tell me if this is true, I've heard that they need energy, that the spirits, can use the energy to,
I think it all comes down. It sounds like it's a cliche word, overused, but the word love, it's love.
yes.
It's love. If I go direct, let's say I'm doing a demo or show and I come direct to you, it's the love that's brought me to you. It's not it's not a silver white light. It's not, no, it's the love. And if I'm sharing the information, if I'm throwing it out and I've got a crowd of people, I want everyone engaged. I want everyone to go on that journey because not everyone get a reunion or a message or a link, whatever you want to call it, but everyone can feel it. Everyone can leave feeling special. Everyone can leave a night going, I've laughed, I've cried, I've experienced something. I mean, we have what comes to mind. Like I never remember reunions much because it's like being a mobile phone. It comes in and it goes out. But the other night, I had a husband reunite with his wife. He passed years ago, and he was a bit of a naughty boy, a bit of a gangster, a bit of a boxer. And I went to this one and said, this really can't be right. He showed me how you used to sleep with a knife under your pillow. And she went, oh yeah, I used to. Yeah. So everyone goes, oh my God. So we pull everyone in on that. And then, with my work, I always say there's all different types of reunions. It might just be your mum going, I love you. Thank you for taking care of the cat. It might be your mum reunites and you took care of your mum every day and night for 5 years. You go for it. We call it a wee. You go to the toilet. You've come back and she's gone, and you carry on feeling guilty forever. And she's there to help you release that guilt. Or it could be, you get very intense. Some of my healing gets really intense. It could be a dad was awful. I had a dad reunite with his daughter and his wife. He was violent. He was horrible. And it wasn't about him going, oh, I love you, I'm sorry. It's about him helping them release the anger and the pain they still carried.
Wow.
Because they're here to help us carry on. See, with mediumship, you've got to, when I work, you've got to validate them. You can't say, I've got your friend, she loves you. You've got to validate who it is, either evidentially or what. I hate that word evidence. It's a personal validation.
Right.
But once you've got that is, why are they here? What is that? They know their job. And every reunion is going to be multi-layered. There's always something going, and it's about how can they help that person move on, knowing that that spirit person is with them in the here and now. Because so much time you see a lot of men spend a whole 15-minute link on, oh, they did this, they did that. Yeah, it's all lovely, but what are they here for?
Right.
You mentioned your best friend's past, right? So if your friend was going to have 15 minutes, 20 minutes with you now, she wouldn't want to spend 20 minutes talking about the past. She talks. The reunion is about, yes, it's her, the life shared, who she was, but the important part is this life reunited.
Right.
In the here and now.
Right.
Yeah, a silly example. I did a night and it was someone's mum reuniting. No, it wasn't. It was the dad. The dad, and he was talking about the photograph and saying, put it in one of those really tacky, glittery, shiny photo frames. And they went, we've just done it.
Oh,
So what that does is it shows that person, I am here.
I'm
I'm
with
seeing
you.
what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's the job of the medium. That's the role of me to say, look, there's no such thing as death. I know you're missing them. I can't change that. But look, here they are now. This is what they're seeing. This is what they're sharing with you.
Yeah. Now, so you've got these shows every night of the week, and you take a couple of days off, or maybe before your show or after your show. Do you get messages in when you don't set up the whole process?
I would be very cheesed off if they did, because I devote my life to them. And so I'm not one of those memes. I've seen TV shows when a medium walks into a shop and goes, "Oh, I've got your mum."
Right.
No, I have to get, if someone said to me, randomly, Bex, here's $250,000, get my mum, I go, no, can't do it. I have to get I'm not love the words. I have to do my preparation to
Right.
get in my place, in my zone. So I'm in tune with them. For me, it's been like, if you had a radio that wasn't switched on or wasn't tuned into a radio station, there's music playing all the time. Unless you'll turn the radio on and you're tuned in, you won't get a radio station. So I
Right.
use it with me being a mobile phone. So when I'm working, if I'm a mobile phone that's switched off, I won't get anything. So I have to, so I call it, I charge my battery up, which
Yeah.
is my working power. If you like, I put a SIM card in, I link with O2, well, the Divine, and then I turn my phone on and I then link with the audience or congregation. And then I've set it all up. And then I go, right, okay, now the phone's on. And the phone lasts as long as the battery charge lasts. So usually you won't do more than a 2-hour dem, because after 2 hours, your battery's run out. And that's
Now,
but that's only how I work.
how do you know when your batteries are running out? I mean, like you're just not getting people coming through. How do you know when you need to wrap it up?
Yeah. Usually, you get feeling, you just know that feeling of just going to, and then if I'm a bit of a naughty one with spirit, I say, come on, they'll go to me. No, you're done now. I go, come on, let's do one more. And the quality may not be there. And
Right.
it won't be because I say, this is not your loved one. This is me. I just want to do this one for you. But you can feel, that the blending's not quite, because ultimately what this is my spirit and their spirit blending. So there's no separateness. So I can be spontaneous and just bring whatever they want to show. I don't think about it. I just go, oh, you've got 3 children. And the middle ones, whoever Peter is being really naughty. It's just letting them have that voice. But as my energy drops, that separateness, that blending, that ties, you can feel it. It's starting to wane. And then you go, it's not there.
Wow. And then, so you said this process, I guess you're not timing it or anything, but maybe around 15 minutes or so to sort of get basically set up in the right framework, the right zone, as you called it. And
for
then,
me,
oh, sorry.
No. I was going to say, for me, it's
I
a
was
lot
gonna
longer
say,
than that.
Is there, longer than that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I do my meet and greet in the afternoon, about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So if I'm doing an evening dem or even show or even service, about half past, all day from about 11, 12 o'clock, I might do a bit of yoga. Your mind is just, you're just starting to put your awareness towards what's coming up. And I do what I call this meet and greet in the afternoon. I tend to have a little nanny nap in the afternoon. And then you're getting ready. And then as I drive to the venue, I have a certain piece of music I play, and I do a gratitude prayer or just a gratitude couple of songs while I'm driving. I just thank spirit, and when I get to the venue, I do my tune. It's about 15, 20 minutes. So it's a whole process.
Preparing,
Yeah,
even before you go.
absolutely.
You're already getting into
Yep.
into your zone. You're
Yep.
making preparations, and then once you get there, then you start enveloping the rest of the people that are there in attendance.
Yeah. And then if I've done the meet and greet in the afternoon, I get up and I do I always do an introduction chat, just get everyone nice and relaxed and let them know how the process works and what they can expect and not expect. And then the first reunion starts. And then each reunion, I mean, sometimes it might just be 2 or 3 minutes. It was a quick one, or it might be one night I spent 20 minutes with one family because they needed it. And I always say to, so I always say to the audience or the congregation, I know over here we've got something called the SNU, the Spiritual National Union, and they always teach their means that no more than 7 or 8 minutes at the most each reunion. Well, I'm not timing it. I'm not in charge. If Spirit want 5 minutes, they have 5 minutes. If that reunion needs 15, 20 minutes, we all then experience that journey. We all experience that reunion for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, in a group setting like that, you not only get, some sort of, reassurance from a message you might get, but when you see other people connecting with the message they're getting, and you can tell by their reaction that they know exactly what you're talking about, who you're talking about, and that they have made that connection. So you can kind of, vicariously enjoy that as well. I mean, I would, it's like just seeing people so happy that they were able to, one more time connect with their loved one.
And what I find is that if I'm working, I always say, it happens all the time. I'm working with someone puts their hand on us and they go, yeah, it's my mum. And I start working with them and I go, no, it's not your mum. Because we know it's all got to make sense. And what happens sometimes is Spirit will go to me, oh, I just know it's not you. And no matter how much they want to hold to that person, it's not theirs. And my job is to, one night I went to about 8 or 9 people because I was trying to take this one person. And I'm going, I know I'm right, but it's not for any of you. And I said one other bit of information. A young girl put her hand. I went, thank you for putting your hand up. It's you, because Spirit know.
Mm.
And it's all got to be specific for that one person, and that's the intelligence of Spirit.
What about your loved ones? Do you ever connect with them?
I have a funny
medium.
Yeah, they pop in occasion. I've got a funny story about my mum. My mum passed about 4 years ago, and it was beautiful. I was there. She was ready to go join my dad, and what was beautiful, I felt her go through me as she left. It was a magical gift from her. And also Spirit also told me later, it's magical for them too. So my mum and I had some healing. It was like in that moment in time, it was beautiful. Well, that was a Saturday night. Well, the Sunday night, I was due to work in a place that I work once a month, a regular place. And the lady said to me, do you want to cancel? I went, no, I'll be fine. My mum said, so anyway, I'm starting chatting to the audience on the Sunday night, explain, I said, so what we're going to do. And with that, I felt my mum. And imagine my mum doing this. Energetic. It's a bit like the film Ghost. Everyone's seen the film Ghost. It's like when Patrick Swayze's got to learn what it's like to be back home in spirit. He's got to learn to move things. Well, my mum was so close to me. In my head, I've gone, Mum, clear off. I'm working. Well, what I didn't realize at that moment is when I'm working, I don't have any thoughts. So whatever I'm getting, I give off. Well, I said that in front of a load of people. In fact, it wasn't a busy night, about 70 people. And I went, Mum, clear off, I'm working. And the whole audience went, I went, oh, I'm really sorry. It's just that my mum's got a little bit too close. And my mum pops in sometimes, and my dad does as well. And my dad, the last time my dad was really, really close to us, he just brought through someone who's just like him, equally shy, equally quiet, who may not push their arm. I went, oh, hello, Dad. And he's like, he didn't say I've got somebody, but I just knew there was someone like him waiting to come through as well.
Oh, I see.
Doesn't happen a lot. Doesn't happen very often.
Brought them along through so they could communicate.
It was just the once it's happened, but it was lovely because obviously, it was just this, for whatever reason, it doesn't normally happen, but it's happened occasionally.
Right.
And it's happened once or twice with I work a lot with suicides. And it's happened once or twice. Someone brings someone through who I know, but most of the time it's on their own because they, again, Spirit know their job. They are the ultimate intelligence.
Right. Now, I imagine, some people, are less emotional than others, depending on when their loss was and that sort of thing, and who it was.
Yeah.
But some people, especially if it's fresh, especially if it's, a parent that's lost a child or something that seems completely out of order. And the grief is so profound. in those early days, you know, and I'm
Totally.
speaking from experience. Um, when you have to help a lot of people that are experiencing that kind of profound grief, does it how does it affect you?
Okay. On the first part about when something's very recent and very raw, it happened to me Monday in a place called Southend. Or was it Wednesday? Anyway, um, if someone's very raw, often I'll feel them come close very gently, and I'll go, "Oh, they're they're going to present in a way." If you've just lost someone who, and you mentioned a child, and on Wednesday it was, I had a son reunite with his mum. He had committed suicide just 6 weeks ago.
Oh,
So to lose a child, to lose a child is among all things, but to lose a child to suicide is something you never recover from ever.
oh my gosh. Yeah, because you
So
know what? You're gonna blame yourself no
yeah,
matter what,
absolutely,
even if it's
absolutely.
nothing to do with you.
So what Spirit did beautifully, this
Oh,
lady was with her best friend. Her best friend's dad came through first, and I knew the best friend a little bit. I recognized the dad because the dad had been through before. I thought, "Oh, what do you want to do again?" And I went to the one next to us. "Oh, he's bringing someone through." And I said, "I don't understand this. This new young man is going, 'It's all right, mum. I'm okay. I love you.'" And it was her son. What I'm getting to, he came through so gently. It wasn't
mm,
like big. So I said, "I'm not getting his personality because he's not sharing. He's letting you know, so I know what happened." That, and he said a few things to her that she went, "Oh my God, it's him." So she can just start to heal a little bit, knowing he's
yes,
okay. And it wasn't big and dramatic, but for her it was. It
yeah,
was this that young man going to his mum, "I'm okay." And the way he presented himself was great because it wasn't just straight to her.
yes.
It was the best friend's dad first, and then the best friend's
Oh my
mum as well. And then I got the other young man coming and went, "It's not for you." And that's again the way it needs to be given. And yeah, sometimes I don't because I view like being a mobile phone, my role is to stay detached as much as possible. But I do, yeah, at the end of the night, you've got it's not the spirit energy because that's pure, if you like, but the
yeah,
energy from the audience, from the
yes.
congregation will affect me sometimes. And the come down afterwards can be quite intense. So it's working. So I have to, that's something I personally have to navigate every time I work after a
Right.
show, after a dem.
Do you
Yeah.
kind of have to protect yourself and sort of get rid of anything negative afterwards? I mean, I'm not saying negative
Yeah.
like bad,
I know
but
what you mean.
just
Yeah.
sad.
I think that word protection is a bit overused, but I think what you have to do is I have to just refocus and reground myself. I almost have to rehumanize myself because I spent all the time like blending with spirit, and I'm
Right.
blending with the energy and the love of whoever I'm working with, and I've come to learn that it's about feeling human again, whether I just eat a load of sugary rubbishy food or whether
Yeah.
I have a glass of wine or but it's always just navigating it because
Yeah.
it can be quite intense and the healing can be off the chart as
I
well.
can imagine. I'm not as much this way as I used to be, but especially, you know, when I was in my teens and 20s and maybe even early 30s, I used to constantly pick up on the emotions of everybody around me.
Yeah.
And I could not go to funerals. I mean, even if it was someone I didn't know, you
Mhm.
know, like somebody I was just going because they were a relative of somebody I did know, I would like get so upset that I would almost get into hysterics. And it was very embarrassing because people would say, well, why is she, you know, why is she doing that? She didn't even really know them. But it wasn't that person. It was the people around me. I was just feeling it was like coming in like
It's-
crazy. It
yeah.
doesn't do that so much. And I'm wondering if I learned somehow to protect myself or to just not be open to that as much. I'm still empathetic, but not to the point that it's debilitating, you know,
And
for
that
me.
and that's the thing. It's not draining you so much anymore. And it is, I always say to people, it's like us as empaths have a very difficult role, especially in this day and age.
Mm,
And it is, and if you are someone, you will run on empty. It's like when people come to me if I'm teaching, they go, "Oh, I'm always open. I get it all the time." I said, "Well, you must be tired all the time." And they go, "Yeah, I'm always because it's constantly draining you." And then when
right.
they become empathic around people around them, and that people around them who are still here will drain them. And then I say to people, it's like, you can love people unconditionally, you can care for people unconditionally, but you can't be responsible for them.
Right.
And what we try and do as ever, we try and be responsible, we try and take everyone's pain away, and we can't.
That's their experience, and that's their story.
There you go. Exactly.
At my ancient age, I'm finally learning a few things. But
it's like things it's like we spoke about some of the things you've been through, the pain that you carry. That's and it's nothing can take that away because it's yours. And it's part of your life experience.
It is. It's part of my story. It's funny because my daughter that I lost, I used to tell her, like, when she would be upset over a boyfriend or something like that, and I would always just say, honey, just try to view your life like a movie.
That's it.
And if everything was going smooth all the time, that would be the most boring movie in the world.
I love
and
that.
It's like, but you're down now, but that means that we don't know what's right around the corner.
Exactly.
And she told me later, she said, you wouldn't believe how much that helped me to sort of stand back and say, wow, what an interesting story this is. Well, that's not the way I would have liked it to go right now, but at least it's interesting, and I think after a while I kind of learned how to be more objective like that and just observe more. But I wondered if that was ever affected you that way, that because you deal with so many people that are grieving. I was only dealing with my own, but you were dealing with so much grief. I wondered if you were able to.
Yeah, I think what is, because what I'm sharing is because what I'm working with is so much healing energy, so much healing love in that reunion. I'm on that wave of that reunion. So my focus isn't so much on the grief of the person. My focus is on making sure I get to that right recipient and do, because I again, whenever I teach, the first thing I always teach people whenever we talk about mediumship is not about what they do, what they don't do, but it's about the responsibility of what we do. And I talk to, for me, when you get healing, it's unbelievable. I'll share with you a very quick story. I did a show recently, and I had this man connect with this lady. This lady, the backstory was this lady was desperate to come. She got the very last cancellation ticket. Her friend came through and he'd committed suicide. And I knew it was tragic, but he had shared that with me. But I knew he didn't want to share the suicide. But then she went, yes, it was suicide. I said, right, well, he's saying he doesn't want you to join him. And she went, I know he wrote that in a letter. And I went, okay, that's lovely. Then, again, it's that clear sense. It's clear out my mouth came and said, hold on a minute. You've been hoarding all those different pills and you've got them in that blue and white box. And she went, yes, I have. I said, you were going to do it tonight. And she went, yes, I was. I said, well, you promised me now you won't, and you promised in your mind you're going to throw them away. And she went, okay. After the show, she gave me a big hug and she said, there's a bit more to it than that. I said, okay. She said, well, this afternoon I said to him, if you don't come through tonight through Bex, I'm going home to do it. And she said, also, I've got that box of pills in my car. Can I give them to you to take home? And I've got the blue and white box sitting on my desk to remind me about the intelligence and the responsibility of what I do. And when you said, do I have a crash? I absolutely had not a meltdown, but I had to really process that responsibility. Well, what if I got it wrong? What if you hadn't reunited the right way? And then I had the spirit had to say to me, Bex, it's not your responsibility.
Right, that's right.
So in
they
that
took
night,
care of it. So
yeah, and she's come to a couple more shows and she's getting the therapy she needs. So in that moment, he and spirit saved that woman's life that very night.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness, we just have a couple minutes left.
God, it's gone so quick.
It really has. It's gone really good. I really am happy to get to know you, and hope to meet up someday when I'm over your way, or if you ever appear here in the United States, let me know. And I'll.
Where about? I didn't know. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, you're my new best friend.
Oh, all right. Come on over. Come on over.
Well,
Yeah.
my brother lived in the States for 30 years. He was a pilot with Southwest.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I've stayed in Denver, Texas, North Carolina. He's back in North Carolina now. So yeah, I've never been to LA. I've been to San Francisco, but I've never been to LA.
LA is all right. I mean, it's very crowded when you're driving, but I like it. The weather's just wonderful. And that was one of the main reasons I moved out here
Oh.
from Oklahoma was I just didn't want to go through those cold, hard winters, those ice storms anymore. And so it's been quite nice. Haven't had too many earthquakes. And honestly, I don't mind the earthquakes as much as I did the tornadoes back home. So
Do you get a
everything.
lot of those in Oklahoma? Do you get a lot of those in Oklahoma?
Oh gosh, yeah. Tornado Alley, it's called.
Oh my
But
God.
that's my most vivid childhood memories is being yanked up out of bed and running out through the yard to the storm cellar and diving in it,
God.
and then having tornadoes hit all around it. Oh,
I've now got visions of Wizard of Oz in my head.
yeah, it was just like that, and that used to be my nightmares. That my worst nightmares were always about
I
tornadoes.
always
That's how I moved, and I
okay.
didn't have any more.
I
But
always
gosh,
wanted a pair of those red sequin shoes.
oh yeah, Dorothy's shoes. Those are beautiful. I've seen those. Well, looks
Have you
like we're
really?
all out of
Oh
time.
wow.
Thank you, Beck, so much.
Thank
Now,
you.
Rebecca Sawyer, uh, she's there in the UK and she's appearing lots of places. So I would suggest you get onto her website and see when her next appearances are, if you're in that area. And hopefully we can get her over here and we can all go see her.
That'd be great, actually, wouldn't it?
Thank you so much. I really
Oh, it's been
appreciate
a
you
joy. Thank you
coming
so
over
much for
from
having me on,
your
Renee.
ungodly hour.
Yeah, it's 4:00 here. I'll go back to bed.
Oh my goodness. All right, Bex. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Take
Thank you.
care. Thank you,
Bye.
Bill. Good night.